What's going on, everybody? My name is Aiden and welcome back to another video. Now, ladies and gentlemen, there is a lot of things that have gone wrong with the Chicago Bulls over the last couple of games, in fact, throughout the course of the season. But one of the biggest problems that we face at this point in time is simple. It's half a side of basketball that really needs to be paid attention to. Now, our offense may not be the big problem. Our defense is a humongous problem at the moment. So why is our defense so sucky? Why do we continue to allow teams to just overtake us in fourth quarters or in a half of basketball? Why do the Bulls continue to give up over 120 points in games? Let's talk about what's going wrong with the Chicago Bulls defensively in this video. But before we get any further, if you liked the video and you want to see more from me, drop a like, drop a follow, and or subscribe if you are new. And let me know in the comments below your thoughts about these Chicago Bulls and what is wrong defensively with them. Can it be fixed this season? Or is it one of those things that we're just going to have to deal with through the course of the season, knowing from the very beginning that the defensive end was going to be a big problem for the Chicago Bulls? Now, you might be asking, how would you possibly know if the defensive end was going to be a big problem? Well, I may not have personally known, but Billy Donovan knew. Casey Johnson recently brought this to everybody's attention on his social media, basically suggesting that Billy Donovan talked about how the defense is going to be a problem, and then went on to proceed that this is the 6th game where the Bulls have allowed more than 120 points, with 3 of those games being over 130 points. Now, whether you like it or not, whether we are good or not, when you give up those amount of points, you're not going to win games. You're not going to win games. You could be the best offensive team in the league. You could be out here averaging 120 points yourself. When you're giving up those amount of points, it's very difficult to win in this league. And that is something that the Bulls heavily need to address. So the stats are clearly not on our side. I've been talking for a while about how I think our transition defense has been woeful. And I stay true to that point. Even when the stats didn't necessarily back me up in that standpoint, I was staying true to that point. Now it looks like with more games being played, the defensive end being exposed, those stats are starting to kind of prove my point a little bit. We need to discuss whether or not it could be fixed, and whether and why this is being the case. Why are we so bad defensively? We can start off with the first reason. It's a very obvious reason. It's one of the reasons why I think any team would suck defensively. It's losing Alex Caruso. That is the number one reason in my eyes as to why the Chicago Bulls are not good defensively. Now, is it the only reason? Of course not. But one thing Alex Caruso has provided for the Chicago Bulls when he was here was at least a stability on the defensive end and the ability to take on most guards in this league on the defensive end. That is something we don't have in that guard position at the moment. Ayo is the closest defender that we have that was to the level of Alex Caruso. He's not on the level of Alex Caruso defensively, but he was the closest one. And he's had some good defensive games, but ultimately, it's not enough. Alex Caruso gave you luxuries. Even Billy Donovan admitted this. The luxuries of Alex Caruso being dependable on the defensive end means that you can get a defensive stop based on a one-on-one possession. Not many players are like Alex Caruso on the defensive end. So when you lose someone like that, you're expecting someone to come in and replace that. We haven't found anybody that could do that at this point in time. And that is a struggle. So when you see guys like Josh Giddey, not a good defender. Kobe White tries his heart out. Bless the guy. But he's not a great defender. Ayo Dosunmu, a solid defender, capable defender, but definitely not a superstar defender like Caruso was. And you got other guys on the team like Dalen Terry and all them. They're capable defenders, but still not superstar quality defenders out there. You concede points. And it's as simple as that. Number 2, the injury to Lonzo Ball, I think, has played a big factor in this. Now, I'm not going to sit here and tell you Lonzo Ball was the absolute best defender, I guess, this season thus far. Or I'm not even going to tell you that Lonzo Ball is the exact same defensively as he was when he first was here for the Chicago Bulls. Because I think it's too short of a sample size. But one thing we know about Lonzo Ball, he's really, really high. He has a really high defensive IQ defensively. So he's able to call out plays before things happen. He's able to read lanes. He's able to get into the passing lanes. He's able to get steals. He's able to crash boards in the right type of way. Just knowing where everything is defensively. It's almost like having a coach back there. And when you have an injury to a player, that is ultimately is kind of like your defensive coach in many ways, you struggle. you struggle big time. And missing Lonzo Ball is another thing. Now, Lonzo Ball at his best was a better defender than Alex Caruso on this team. The harsh reality is he's not at his best at this point in time, but also his injury has been massive for the Chicago Bulls once again. So, again, it's a wrist injury. It's nothing towards his leg or anything, so we'll wait and see what ends up happening, but I expect Lonzo Ball to return soon, and with that return, you might see improvements on the defensive end. Number 3. I'm just going to stick by this. I think rim protection has been a big problem for the Chicago Bulls. I mean, it's as simple as that. Nikola Vucevic, as great as he has been for the Chicago Bulls this season, he is not a rim protector. Jalen Smith, he's definitely getting up there and trying to block some shots. He's very mobile and he's very athletic for his size. Sometimes he gets into foul trouble because of it, or he gives up fouls because of it. But our rim protection is very, 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 very slow. Therefore, points in the paint has been a big problem, and perimeter three-point defending as well has also been a big problem. Those two combined equals giving teams 130 points on every single occasion. So, rim protection I still think is a big problem. And I've already mentioned this one, but the last thing I'm going to mention is transition defense. This one hurts me a little bit because the Bulls' aim is to play faster. The Bulls' aim is to run down the court and get easy and open offensive shots, to make the team tired, to wear them out and to push the tempo, and to play some beautiful, fast-paced, modern basketball. And you know what? We deserve that. That's all we want from this Bulls team at the end of the day, to play beautiful, modern, free-flowing, fast-paced basketball. It's such a shame that we're trying to focus on doing that on one side of the court. It's like we completely forgot the other side of the court for the Chicago Bulls. And I think transition defense, if you're going to play fast on one end, you have to learn how to play fast on the other end. If you're going to play fast on one end and then take it easy on the other end, not get back in time on the other end, or allow transition points on your end, that to me is a sign of half of a team in many ways, half of a game being played, and team chemistry not being there, and the willingness is not being there as well. When you become a good basketball team, people say this all the time, so don't even take my word for it. You have to be bought into the system. You have to be bought in as a team. You need to buy into what's being sold to you by the coach, by the management, by everybody. Everybody has to be in there. You have to be in there to win it. And when you see defensive lapses as bad as the Bulls have shown in transition these days, it shows to me that this team's not completely invested. And that hurts more than anything. And I guess that's why you're seeing comebacks. That's why you're seeing 120 plus points and all these things. Can it be addressed? Can it be fixed? I'm hoping with guys coming back, like Lonzo Ball, yes, I think things can be addressed. Not completely, but addressed enough. And maybe you can start to see improvements. Of course, with more time with these guys playing with each other, you might see improvements there as well. Maybe with some head coaching adjustments. We've got some defensive coaches on the bench as well, assistant coaches that can help us in that department. Yes, I think the defensive end can be improved. But if we're going in this trajectory, it's not going to be a fun time for the Bulls fans to know that we're going to be giving up so many points in frustrating fashion each and every single game. So I hope for improvements. Let's wait and see. That's all I could say. I don't truly know if the Bulls are going to turn it around on that end, but we need to find out. We may not have the talent to do it, but sometimes defense is based on effort. So put in the effort and see what ends up happening. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Stay safe, stay healthy, and stay tuned for more. Take care, and peace.